So now Mr. Fick would like, he wants his zoning amended to have a parking lot for Blue Jay Taxi. And, there's, provided on the map, it's on the same parcel, but it's no longer directly on the corner of JJ and Hillside. It's actually back. There's a garage on that piece of property. There's a driveway kind of by, whose house was that? Howland's house. There's a driveway. If you look down that driveway, you can see a garage. He wants parking for his taxis.
Oh, way back in there.
Yeah, way back in there.
He called the other
All the
day
Howland property.
because he used to own Ballyhoo's
Yeah.
and they would park the taxis there. And he sold that now, so he doesn't want to park the taxis there.
Yeah.
So this amendment's just moving this lot over.
Correct. So what we're really from the board, if the board wants to, we need a motion to amend our township's resolution 2052-2. We need to amend it. So want to do that, I'll need a motion from someone on the board.
What was the resolution again?
2052-2.
2025 dash,
2025 dash
whatever year it is.
No, that's my numbers brain.
2025 dash 2.
But if we're amending it, then I'm putting an A behind it. So it'd be 2025 dash 2A.
Or we don't have to do anything.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to approve it.
But it'll just go ahead anyway.
Yeah, our resolutions to them is just,
Advisory.
yeah.
Then let's move on. I mean, if we're not, do you want a motion or not?
Well,
Because it's-
I'm sorry.
I mean, we've always done motions, so either.
Right,
we're gonna do one or-
I guess if the board wants, I'm the person who decides the time vote. So,
I mean,
correct.
if we want to do it.
So I would, if we
Yeah, we
should,
would need a motion.
we would need a motion.
Okay, I will make a motion to amend the zoning permit for the northeast corner of Hillside and JJ and approve the 2025-2A.
I'll second that. Second that. I'll second that. Okay, those approve?
I,
Right. So maybe be done snowing now. Our next item is the town hall, the lawn care. We'll have to. I talked to Cutting Edge. That was the company that did it last year. And he said that if he is to continue cutting it, it's going to be $120 a time.
What was it? Let me see.
It was 100. He said he underbid it last year. So do we want to put that out for bid? Do we just want to continue as is?
Did he have name and frequency?
It's about once every other week. Cut grass.
I don't know how much it rained.
I looked just at 2 months and it was pretty much every other week. Never more often.
What do you think? We did it out the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I'll get it up. Let's put the ad in the paper.
Okay. So we'll do that all.
When do you want the bids by?
We're gonna need them by the next meeting because otherwise
by the next week.
you're gonna have a hayfield.
No more,
Cause
man.
we should have been doing this last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's still snowing today. So we have bartender's license.
Yes. We have Jason and April Vandervelde. They have all their paperwork and paid their money for their bartender's license. They're taking over
Northway.
Northway. It's gonna be AJ's Breakaway now. The problem she's running into is that they're closed for the month of April. They're opening May 1st. So I gave her a provisional liquor license and I looked and we charged $5 for those. But now she's having a problem. Two of her distributors will let her order and they will sell to her, but two of them won't because it's a provisional liquor license.
Is there someone here from Northway?
I don't think, no, she's not here.
So I had a discussion with her, April, and I asked her if, so provisional license, like Mitzi said that her suppliers won't sell to her unless she has a liquor license. So I gave her, I said, that unfortunately then, if you need a liquor license, it's $400.
Yes.
And liquor license in this township renew July 1st. So I guess,
So that's why we did the provisional, because that's good for 60 days. But now our suppliers won't sell to her. Two of them won't. And, she thought that's what she was avoiding, was having to pay 400 now. And then 2 months later, pay another 400.
so I invited her to the meeting, or them, and they didn't show up today. So apparently I told them the only other option they had as it stands earlier today was to pay the $400 for a couple of months of liquor license. Unless the board wanted to do something, but since they're not here, I guess, other than approve their liquor license.
Yeah, I would need an approval for that. I would need approval for their bartender's license, but then if they need to get a bartender or a liquor license to charge them 400, I would need to know that too.
Or do we offer them a tiered rate, like half price for 2 months?
Well, I mean, that gets you into a situation where we never did it for anyone else before.
Correct.
And then, I mean, if we've never said the liquor license is prorated,
Right.
then we can't do it.
Was that posted then? So that everybody had an opportunity to call about that? So that provisional was posted 15 days before?
Yes.
And then there were the only two that said no, nobody else called on that one.
No, nobody even called. No, it's just that one, she came in to give me this for the bartenders. Then she said that two of the suppliers will and two suppliers won't. So with the provisional,
The only other option she has then is to
to pay the 400.
all 400 or to pay all you guys to come in and approve it at a meeting that you guys call based on when she would have to do that because she can't operate without that.
And is that,
Well,
did
I
you
thought
talk
she
to
can-
the agent or not?
I called him and his number is either no longer working or disconnected.
Then the state should have a new one for the district.
And I have been emailing them, but they did not. I emailed them early yesterday morning and they still hadn't gotten back to me
Okay, because
as
they
of today.
might have. a
And they're
solution.
usually faster
Yeah,
than that. but I don't know. So I must throw them for a loop with that one.
So they would just have to approve their.
They can approve their bartender's license, but not the liquor license. Or,
Well.
Or we
no,
can
I
approve
wouldn't
it as
need
a-
To approve the liquor license, but then it's stating that they have to pay the 400, correct?
Yes.
right,
Okay,
Just like.
okay, so the bartender's license.
Well, need a motion, bartender's license for
Jason, I think, Jason and April Vanderbilt.
I'll make a motion to approve the bartender's license for Jason and April Vanderbilt.
Second.
Go ahead.
Either way. Very all right.
All approve?
I,
Okay. All right, so then we'll need a motion for a liquor license. For, what was the name of the bar? No?
AJ's breakaway.
AG's Breakaway.
So I'll need motion for that.
so let me get this. We're approving the actual license if they show up to pay the $400.
Correct.
Correct. Because I
What
can't-
what did
I
we do
can't
with the
give-
provisional? How do they get a provisional?
That doesn't have to be, that doesn't have to be approved. And that one's only $5. And when I looked that up and when I had contacted the state on that, I mean, you can raise it, that the whole time Kate was here, she's never had to issue a provisional. It was many, I can't even remember when the last one was. And that's how I found out it was $5, because it was still in the folder. But now the most you can charge is 15 for a provisional. But I did have, before I gave that out, I did have it in the paper. You know, how it has to be in the paper in case anybody, they owe anybody, but that is all fine. And that actually isn't even starting until May, because the provisional is good for 60 days. And so that's why we were doing it from May until the end of June. But, I mean, it's up to her if she doesn't want to order and buy from those two suppliers and
Right, they just
until
have less
July,
product
that's
to
up to
sell.
her, but.
I mean, they can still operate, they just have less product to sell.
Correct,
And that's the option I gave her.
yeah.
So.
So, but if she would want to, that's why I need a motion.
I will make a motion for AJ's Breakaway to have a liquor license as long as they're willing to spend the $400 and pay the fee.
No second. All in favor?
Yes, all in favor?
I,
Duly passes. Okay. Is anyone here from Lake Savic? All right. Would you like to speak on that?
Sure. My name is Ben Knosky. I'm the president of the Savic Lake Association. Over the last 2 years, 2.5 years, we've gone through the process of having a lake management plan put in place. That involved us reaching out to both Wisconsin DNR and a consultant who actually does the work to perform a study of the lake to get an idea of what aquatic plant species are in the lake and whether or not they're invasive. Ideally, this is done every 5 years. We last had this done 12 or 13 years ago. So we're trying to keep this up to have something in place if something does happen to the lake. Part of this was grant funded. We were awarded a grant to fund about 66% of the study. And as it is grant funded, one of the requirements is that we have to post the final report in a public forum for public comment for a period of 3 weeks. We as a lake association don't have a public website. We don't have a public Facebook page. We don't really have a place to post this report. So one idea we had was requesting of the township to post the report on the town's website as a means of satisfying the requirement. So that's why we're here tonight.
Did you amend the cover page on there to have? I didn't get a chance.
Yes. So I added a cover sheet to it. Gives a brief description of what the study is, why we're doing it, who's doing it. And then that and my contact information are on there, and very clearly at the bottom, I say, please direct your comments to us, not the town.
Is that, and then as PDF file, it's gonna be on our site.
Yes, what
Yes.
I'll do is I'll forward it to the people that do our webpage.
So the.
How soon do you need me to get that on there?
I would say as soon as possible would be best. The reason being is,
I'm just saying, because I'm going on vacation tomorrow, so it's either tonight or not until next week, Thursday morning.
okay. We have to have a final report by the end of May, including the comments that were given, if any were given. We had a change in leadership abruptly about a year and a half ago.
Not done tonight. Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's the short answer.
So that's the only thing that the Lake Association is gonna use that for? I'm sorry, so is that the only thing that Pacific Lake Association is using the township website for, is for that?
Just as
Yes.
a
Public
public
comments.
comment.
As a public comment.
For this.
21 days, right?
That's it.
21 days.
Okay. That's
You pull it down after 3 weeks, then we're done.
Are you gonna have a contact number?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, my contact information, both personal phone and email, and that's personal phone and email are the contact information on the cover sheet. So all the comments will come to us. We're not expecting the website or the township to take care of any of that. It should come directly to us, and we'll take care of it after that. It just needs to be publicly available. We don't have the means.
I'll need a
You need
motion.
him to stay here tonight, Mitzi, and go over that with you to make sure, or?
If you can, if you can't.
Yep, as long as you need it.
Well,
It's done exactly the way you want it.
well, the only thing is that once I send it, it's not gonna go directly on there.
Right. To our administrator will put it on. Okay, so.
Yeah, they'll put it on. I'll just be sending it to them tonight.
Yeah, that's perfect. And then I'll just use a hyperlink to send out to our Lake Association email list. And that we have a few other contacts from the DNR we're supposed to send it to as well.
Okay.
Did you need a letter from us also?
I didn't see that. I don't believe so.
No?
No, I
Okay.
didn't see that.
Okay.
So with that being said, Lake Savic Association is gonna use our website to post there's a study, correct?
Yeah, it's a
For their grant application. So it fulfills that need.
I will make a motion to allow us to, or have us post the Lake Pacific Association lake study on our website for 21 days.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, discuss and approve Lincoln County zoning for Benish scrap and transport on Highway C and Highway 51 location for final approval. And what this is about is Mr. Benish has been going through the legal process of making sure he complies with all the rules and regulations for the DNR and everything else. This started back in at the December 11th meeting of 23, and the board granted him permission at that time to go ahead with this. And I'll just read the minutes from that, with that, when we discussed that night, it was discussed conditional use permit for Bo Benish requesting to allow a junkyard / salvage yard on parcel numbers there for Bo Benish. Oh, and it says Bo Benish said that Lone Pine and Swede Road is sold, but he needs to open up a new location at the above parcel located in, and he's got the parcel number of W4982 County Road C. Hopefully to be moved there by July and to clean up Lone Pine Road and Swede Road. Motion was made by Tim Mischke and approved to approve the conditional use permit and seconded by Daryl Engel. Motion carried 5-0. So with that being said, the zoning has it's pretty much a repetition of the last time we voted on this. It's just because of the process. And Bo's sitting here. So is there anything you want to add to this, Bo?
No, I think you covered it.
So do we have any discussion on this?
I guess just, back up that you're gonna clean up the Lone Pine property and you get that all whipped into shape there. I guess.
Does the DNR have to do anything but for you for leaving that site or not? Did they have to give Pat anything?
They did in the initial, application. Closing one and opening the other, so.
How long is it gonna take to finish up at Swede and Lone Pine? I mean, what's the time frame to have this stuff?
30 days after this one's open.
You have a tentative opening date?
June 1st.
Good.
So it's been a process.
DNR's fun to work.
So with that being said, it says here final approval. I'll need a motion from board member.
Do we have some sort of number or we're just going off of what's on our agenda here?
Is there a number here?
We have some sort of
There is no number.
application or whatever we're supposed to list them
Why don't you
with.
pass that down and show them?
Isn't it in their packet?
But I didn't have anything in mind on this.
That might have got. It was a hectic afternoon. I apologize.
Should have something from the county.
Where's that paper?
Yeah.
That Boulder? Is there anything on there?
No, there's no number on it.
It's just good.
Right. And then when I talked,
Approve is,
We're just giving final approval for what we already approved.
yes, because of the DNR, the processes that Bo had to go through, now zoning is looking for.
Does the county have to bring that back to their agenda again? No,
They didn't.
they're done.
Then is this approval for the GNR?
It's just what the state sent me for the final approval of the dealer license, salvage license. Everything is a combination of. County already signed it.
The zoning said that
But then there's no.
they're
County's zoning supersedes us. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever they
Yeah, that's right.
can't.
There's a spot on that form that says.
Right.
It does say the township.
it does say the township on that form, so.
Well, then I am going to make a motion to reapprove what we've already approved for the zoning for Benish scrap and transport on Highway C and 51 location so that they can get their dealer and salvage license.
I'll second that.
All approve?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion passed. Fill us back with all of this. So with that, you have a couple correspondence. One was,
One, and I think you already know that. Do all of you get something from Wisconsin Towns Association?
Yes.
You do, then I don't even need to bring it up, but. And then the other thing is, this limited time arsenic testing, there's sheets on the table there. And there's also,
so that arsenic testing is for wells, correct? So it's something that the state is offering. There's.
and those pamphlets, those sheets were actually at when voting was. You might have picked them up then also. And then there's also two different ones, well compensation grant program and a well abandonment grant. In case either one of those apply to anyone, those are also at the end.
In regard to the correspondence from the town association, I found that you want to that meeting on
Oh, do you?
Thursday.
Okay.
If somebody wants to go along.
You get them in emails?
Oh, it comes in mail.
I got it in an email and a letter.
I might have gotten it
For the
in
meeting,
email.
right?
Yeah.
We'll have to see about getting you on the meeting list
Well,
along
I
with
just-
myself.
I just had to pay them for annual dues. And there was a sheet on there for, and I had to list everybody, so, but I had done that last year. I had you on there.
It had my email address. So.
Mm-hmm. So now they're getting it again, so hopefully. Do you want my letter?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I just curious when.
So that's this Thursday, Matt, you said?
Yeah, Thursday, it's 6:30, starts dinners. And
Okay.
then you take follow that.
And where's that meeting at?
It's at the town of Schwag, town hall.
Okay. Okay, that's, so what Matt's talking about is Lincoln County Townships, correct?
It's,
Yes.
yeah. it's a town-
The unit meeting.
Okay,
And they also have, Mitzi and I were talking about that just because you had said not getting emails and things. But they have a wealth of information on there. They have a whole library that's only open to members. And so any board member can sign in there with your sign on if you want to look up something. It's really a really great resource.
And to that point, the ladies there are extremely knowledgeable. All I gotta do is ask the question and they'll say, oh, that's Helen's department. And they'll give you her and she'll answer the question just like that.
so yeah, we'll have to make sure that in a month or two that everyone's on their mailing list, so.
We're all aware of it.
Also, so that we went over the arsenic testing for personal wells. And then there's also another pamphlet over there, I believe, for well abandonment, in case someone has bought a piece of property that has a vacant well on it and they want to seal it up. There's some literature over there. So also under correspondence, this is something I'll have to look into. It's,
Well, I didn't mean for you to.
that's all right. Just, but I will. Some residents on Alvati Lake Road want their road graded. The problem with Alvati Lake Road, I believe, is 3 townships own that.
On the other side too,
Yeah,
Scott.
the other side is very.
So I'll have to work with that township to see if we can do something for them. 'Cause at least if we have an operator or a road grader, maybe we could buy the materials.
We've always tried, we tried to work with them to put some gravel on it, and they have not really wanted to make that commitment to put gravel in, which is what has to be done to it.
I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So I gotta be put on card.
I talked to that Rock Falls guy a couple of years ago. He never got back to me, but he's willing to go 50-50.
Yeah. And the township of Birch has a new chairman also.
Chairman also, right?
Chairperson.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, maybe we can get something accomplished for them. All right. So that's what we have for correspondence. Public, is there any public comment? Yes,
Aaron McCarthy on Dujinski Road. In the annual meeting, Mike had mentioned some roads in town, in the township have more traffic, obviously. And those, it makes it sound like those roads might get a little bit more attention when it comes to maintenance or things like that. How do you count cars on the road? Because there's, like on Dujinski during the school season, in the mornings, it's busy. But during the summertime, it's not that bad.
You have to get.
You don't put out car counters like they do in town or anything like that.
And
so
they come up with this, I,
go ahead.
sorry, but they just came out with a spray patch a couple of years ago. And just off the top of my head, Dujinski will probably get spray patched this year.
It was what?
They'll probably get spray patched a lot better.
Kind of like they
We
did on
did
Doring.
it, we did it by the railroad tracks.
Yeah, and you did it on Doring Drive, dude.
The county sprays tar down in the rocket.
Yeah, and it really did a good job.
We actually, when we did that, that was my first kind of experiment with it, to see how much it would hold up. And I put it, and I showed Tony the budget.
Right.
I put a lot more money into that this year. So
And like I said, just off the top of my head, when we go and do inspections tomorrow, I would be willing to bet that the rest of it'll get done.
Because it did lack quite a bit. There's a little bit of a pothole by the bridge,
Right.
but in past years, there's been a lot of potholes by the bridge.
Look, from what it was to what spray patch
Yeah,
actually
that
did.
seems to work pretty good.
Instead of going over there and filling potholes and it comes out 2 weeks later or a
Right.
month later.
Right.
So, yeah, when it comes to roads after tomorrow, we'll have a little better idea of
Okay.
where we're gonna spend that money.
Because I didn't even, to Jincy, I do consider it a through road because it goes from in town all the way over to Case, so.
I think a lot of people use it when they're taking their kids.
Oh, no doubt, right. I just forget it because I'm not over on that side a lot, but I consider it. a through road.
So, yeah, they had budgeted money for road repairs and so we'll try to divide that up by need and worst. We'll know better after tomorrow where we got or how far. Depends on costs. When we, that money that we budgeted, the township budgeted for that when it's used up, well, then we'll have to wait for next year. Back to that tax.
Thank you.
Any other? Yes, Bo?
At some point, could the town of Merrill residents be made aware what the remediation process on the Ward Paper Mill landfill is?
Yep.
I don't.
So when we talked about that remediation, do you know who's in charge of that? Who owns that now or?
That's what I'm asking you guys. I know Riverview has been hauling a lot of water in there. And, whatever they're doing, it just seems like the water tests in many of the surrounding properties keep getting worse. I mean, you guys talk about a tax increase, but on many of these home values should be going down because the water's not, you know what I'm trying to say.
Correct.
Are they pulling water in or out?
All afternoon today. Yeah, they had 2 semis hauling in.
They're all in. I thought they haul out.
It should be going out.
Okay, I just see it splashing on the road when they turn.
Yeah, because they should be taking, they should be pumping that water out. They're moving it out so it doesn't contaminate the wells.
Okay.
We had the same thing at Broco with our.
And why didn't, is there any place that you can see the plan or the process as to what is happening?
That I don't know.
So
I know Bill Ritter with the,
Yeah.
So-
That would be, that's all under, yeah.
okay.
Let's put that on old business.
When I had talked with Bill Ritter from the DNR, he's the guy that went house to house and ordered some of the hard minerals testing of the water. And he said, well, you have to contact the town and they would give you a definition. But there was a surprising number of houses.
It's easy to tell the township.
But I mean, you guys are offering arsenic testing and that's kind of giving a false representation.
That's
That's what I'm saying. But
that's
that,
through the county.
that kind of gives a false representation of a good water test, you know?
So we'll put that on next month's agenda.
Oh, my wording.
So we're talking about Ward Paper Mill property.
It's probably still in my international papers.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, who actually owns it now?
The international papers owned it last, the last I know. International
I guess,
DNR should have the paper with that.
right. Look into, the remediation process, old Ward Paper Mill.
What does it show up on your phone?
For the address?
No, for the owner. It just says on here, there's an app on it.
So,
that have the-
We will put it up, we'll
You have
find
to have a
out.
smartphone to do that.
Okay.
I don't know how to do it.
And then you gotta-
We'll start the process, at least find out what
Yeah.
the plan is and what's going, yeah. I understand.
It's black on the zoning map, whatever that means.
So it'll be under, next month's agenda for old Ward Paper Mill with the remediation plan.
If you talk to, they should know.
They should know that, correct.
If they don't, they should know a heck of a lot more.
I'll have to, maybe you can forward your contact information. I can start with that person. Do we have that? Even though it's a different deal. for the roads.
It's owned by international papers.
Okay, current perfect. Any other public comment? Yes, sir. State your name, please. Name, please.
Michael Birch.
Over the winter, I don't know if this is the right time to bring this up, but more of a complaint, I guess. But the snowplow left a large portion of my road in my front yard. And I'm not talking about just fist-sized chunks of asphalt and some gravel. There's about 1.5, maybe even 2 yards of material. And I would like the township to assume responsibility for cleaning that up.
So that was this road or,
LaSalle.
last month's, that was on last month's agenda. The board discussed that. Can want to use to kind of review that. I don't have the.
Not last month.
Oh, Scott Strike did it a couple years ago, and last year I had no problem with it.
I understand.
It didn't flow last year.
Well, a couple of months ago, that was discussed at the board, at this board meeting. And, because there's some concerns about, materials being put on into people's lawns and stuff. First question is that in the road right away?
What Mike told me was the right of way was 33 feet. I'm not sure if that's it.
So that we can look at it tomorrow as we do our road inspections. But I believe the board discussed that, that was 2 months ago, and that if the materials were in the road right away, that unless it was going to obstruct water flow or something, that it's property owners to clean that up. If it's in the road right away.
This is a substantial amount of material, and it's your road,
First-
your plow, my yard.
But if your yard is in the road right away, sir. That's what I'm asking. Is that material in the road right away?
Do you have an address?
Yeah. What's your address?
4057 LaSalle, West 4057.
57 cell. So we're gonna do road inspection. That's where we're at. Okay.
Yes. Give me a call when you come up with a decision.
Oh, shit, blacktop.
Phone number?
Blacktop off of it.
715-432-0539.
The last four again?
0539.
And the reason I asked for that is because what my ears hear, my hand doesn't write down. So,
Yeah.
so. Oh, road materials.
That whole road is shit. It should be, the blacktop should be ripped off.
It's not even blacktop, it's chip seal.
What should be gravel?
Yeah,
It
there's,
should be gravel is what it should be, because I was plowing a parking lot this winter and I was doing 5. I hit the steering wheel. My dog fell on the floor. Great big chunk of blacktop come rolling up in about the plow. I was doing 5 miles an hour. So, you know, kind of, I got to agree with him. It's the town's responsibility.
and I know that now that I recognize that road, that LaSalle is,
It's terrible.
there is no, I don't know. Once again, it's monies. Monies, we don't have it.
Blacktop off, put some crushed gravel on it and
I talked with
If it
Jason.
snows
Lemon.
6 inches, you plow it.
He
If it
said you
doesn't-
can spray patch that stuff. Yeah, go look at it.
All right.
I don't know, we gotta wait.
I saw another, go ahead, Matt. Saw someone else in the back, public comment.
Something needs to be done with the property of West 5718 Hillside Drive, 5318. Again, this time it needs to be taken care of. It's a health hazard. There's mice, there's rats running around there, probably cockroaches.
What was the words again?
5318 Hillside.
So that's the
Past hideaway there,
Yeah.
right next to hideaway. I would agree with that. That's close to my house. I got all I gotta do to keep the rats coming from my house.
I see 3 past chairmen sitting here. My husband and I have been working on this way before that, and none of them got anything done permanently.
So I was
Problem
talking,
is there's no
this
real
is-
way to get.
He's
to it.
breaking every ordinance. that
just
you
order.
guys got.
I know.
Nobody will listen to us.
just order. I was in zoning and that topic came up. That piece of property is near being, foreclosed on by the county. It's close.
And then
The Lincoln County zoning is involved in that now. The township had did a minor cleanup on that a few years back.
Very minor.
Yes. But right now, and I know that we've been living with that for years and years and years. I understand that. I'm gonna, as hard as this is for me to say, I'm gonna ask for your patience on this because the zoning and Lincoln County Board is involved in that piece of property now. And what zoning had told Mike at zoning, the department head, is that it's close to the county repossessing that piece of property for back taxes.
But then if he pays the taxes, he gets it back, correct?
Sure.
And then nothing's gonna ever change. And we have no quality of life. We can't sell our houses because our houses are worth nothing.
And,
Yeah, it's bringing down our property values.
oh, I understand that. I understand. Have you pursued this with the county also?
We've gone to the health department and they.
No, the board themselves,
No,
the county. board.
Well, the town is responsible first.
they keep moving us, everybody keeps moving us to somebody else and they keep bringing us back to the town now.
So,
They called me and they said that our ordinances were stopping them. And I said, what ordinance are stopping you? And I will have a special call meeting and I will get rid of that ordinance if that's what's holding the process up.
We got rid of them ordinances.
And they haven't gotten back to me since.
Maybe it's time for a lawsuit against the town. I mean, this has gotten out of hand with that property.
It stinks. I mean, we can't sit outside, we can't open our windows. And now it's moving down. The house next to the bar has a big trailer of trash sitting out there. It's getting worse and worse and worse.
Does the township have a blight ordinance?
And
does that or does, since we don't, the township, be patient with me. The township, we rely on Lincoln County zoning.
Yeah.
For our zoning ordinances. So the question you're asking, Brad, is does the county have a blight?
Yeah, like the city.
Right.
If a piece of siding falls off, it's getting your house getting done.
I know the property you're talking about. I'm gonna ask.
In defense of the township,
What's that?
in defense of the township, we had taken Johnson's to court. We had a court judgment against them. The township spent a lot of money in attorney fees to have all that done.
And then we had to do it again.
And then we did it again. And the bottom line is the county don't have the teeth to enforce it for some reason. And that's why it's more of a county issue than a township. The township went to the end of the line to try to do something. And you know that, you were in court with it. So the people need to lean on the county more than anything.
I asked the county, the county called me and said, you have a problem with getting together and making a solution? I said, as long as it's the permanent solution, I says, we've cleaned it up. I said, I'm willing to talk to you, but I'll get involved if it's permanent.
But even when it was cleaned up, it was not cleaned up.
It was cleaned up as far, remember the police officers were there? They told us they were there when we were cleaning it up. I was there. And I was asking them he was looking at the court order. I said, can I clean this up? Can I clean this up? Can I clean this up? And I was going by what he said, I better leave this, better leave that. We cleaned up as much as we could.
Tony, have you talked to Mike Huth?
I know you
Yes.
are my.
You talking about the health department?
I know you're frustrated.
Yes.
I'm frustrated. I know,
Said when you guys went in right now.
No, he did not.
I know you're 10 times more frustrated than I am. But I did stick a lot of time and I know Scott did too.
Right, I know, you both did.
And Mike
And I-
did too.
I
It just,
I missed work to come to court, but it's to the point now, he hasn't even had a septic system service for 4 years. Zoning won't
Right.
do anything.
And that's a county zoning issue.
They don't do anything.
and if we didn't pump ours out, we'd be getting fined.
Exactly. They were gonna take me to court because Schmitz forgot to send it in
Right.
that I had it done.
I know.
Bottom line is they
He's
can't get
sitting
blood
there
on
4
the
years
Right.
now.
Yeah,
And
that's why you can't.
Tommy and Martha were good about having it done. You know, and if they could see what that property looked like, now they'd probably roll over in their
I
grave.
see.
I mean, they were very nice people and
And they're in the right of way. If you have to swerve a foot, you're gonna hit all their crap.
Well, there is a ordinance that is in place through the county that they can't park their vehicles on the right of way. And if they are, they can get a ticket for it. So the county sheriff should be called and they should be ticketed.
We have called many times.
Yeah, they should. That's
called
part,
about his
it's on the right of way.
burning and
Well, is still a 33-foot right away, right?
That part I don't know what the
the
right.
thing is, he's advertising.
Building
on
is almost in the right of way.
Scrapper
Yeah, that's true.
And salvage dealer,
Already had that
and
issue.
that's against the law. I
Right.
mean,
And is it, there's supposed to be a 10-foot fence around a property that's like that?
it's supposed to be 500 feet off the middle of the road, is it not? I mean,
So-
he's advertising this.
I mean, you've asked us to be patient. It's getting very, very hard.
I understand that.
My husband and I had worked on this for about 8 years now.
So with that being said, ma'am, did you go to county board meetings with this? Or was it always just at the township level?
It was at the township.
So
We've been to zoning, we've been to the.
I understand that. And it's very unfortunate tonight that I had went to a county board meeting a couple months ago and asked county board members to attend our township meetings, whatever township wherever they represent. And they were good for 3 meetings. It's very unfortunate that neither one of our county representatives is here tonight. I wish they were.
Matter of fact, one of them that was here actually complained about the place.
Everybody does. They've had so many.
Yeah,
complaints.
Yeah, you
Everybody-
did. So last meeting.
One of us.
And that's what I was gonna say. If you want,
So they're aware of it.
get your neighborhood together. We will go visit, the clerk of Lincoln County and get put on the agenda. And I will accompany you.
There's a file in there that's got,
And
how
I'm
many
just saying,
signatures did you have on that?
Yes, over
Bring that there, bring
but
everything.
I'm saying get, an agenda, a file with names on, is great, but bodies is what counts.
Can you-
When there was a discussion here about Dujinsky Road, this place was full.
And I believe Mr. Simon is your representative on the county
Can you tell me when the meetings are? Because I work.
Yeah, I think what I would do is go to the county, call the county and get on the agenda for the zone, find out when the zoning committee meets. They have their own committee members.
Right.
And petition to them and then talk to one of the board members. They can go with you.
I will accompany you.
File the complaint based on their zoning, then they have to take it to the county board.
Okay.
And then also,
Properties that don't pay the taxes go direct, they go to Chris
Yeah.
Marlowe. He has a big say on.
At the end.
Properties at the end are gonna be looked at to be taken and,
Yeah.
but I mean, you're right, he hasn't paid.
So-
Anybody can go online and see that he hasn't paid taxes.
Yeah, as soon as you get, is it 5 years? Then they could possibly take back it, but she's right. If he pays a part of that property tax, then they probably have to wait until that's deleted again.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I
So
mean,
I
if you,
think
yeah.
it is a good way to do it because we did that, down on the end of, where was that, Kate?
Right down here.
Yeah, where that property, what was the name of it? Down in the hollow, down on Memorial. Down there was a guy that was just kids playing around and they didn't pay their taxes. We finally just went to Chris Marlowe and said,
How many
take it
times?
back.
right.
They had to.
And I see Chris often, but what Mike, Mr. Matushik said is what I would like to see too. I was thinking county board, but we'll start at zoning.
Zoning committee.
And we'll make an appointment. You'll have to make an appointment. I will accompany you.
Can I talk to you after the meeting? You get
Yes,
some
you can.
information on that?
Yeah, I was just gonna look it up actually.
Thank you.
So I've been to county board, so start there.
Thank you.
Is there any similar action happening with the Ellenbecker property? He's in jail. Not cleaning
Those
it
are
up.
the guns, those three,
Oh,
17 and,
No, none that I know of.
because it was ordered to be cleaned up or the town or county was gonna clean it up and
Nothing that I know of.
best time to clean it up is when he's on his year vacation. You know,
Once again, it would take some concern from the citizens.
I figured the DNR would have enough concern, but
But yeah, we'll talk after the meeting.
Thank you.
And cause I know, I've sat through enough of these board meetings and I've heard of that piece of property through 1, 2, 3.
It's only different than land services.
No, it's the same.
So
Land services
I know they have a meeting.
It has to be on the agenda by April 12th in order to make the May 9th meeting.
Gonna say.
So now it has to get on the agenda by May, don't quote me the date, to make the June meeting.
Yeah.
Because I got this stuff coming up for the town and for them.
So it
Land's
says
gotta
that
hit their
they have
agenda
a,
first.
they have a meeting May 8th.
So, okay, their next meeting is May 8th. Chris Marlowe is the one who probably sets those or helps with the agenda. Or he would direct us to who does.
I think I'd go with the land services on the bottom side. Go in the lower parking lot, and go all the way to the end of the hallway, the land services and stuff there.
Yeah.
I've been there.
I,
Yeah, because that's where I get the agendas from, is from Elizabeth
Yeah.
in Land
Okay.
Services.
I don't know who would give you if there is an ordinance on a blight problem. I don't know if they do or somebody else.
well, if there isn't, then perhaps the county needs to have either enforce what they have or adjust what they have.
There's a file in there though, Mitzi. I don't know if you looked into it. There's a whole file on this property and we did get paperwork from Chris Marlowe and it was legal paperwork. And when was that? 2 years ago, maybe, on them taking that property? Because I thought, yay, this is gonna happen. Now they're gonna take it and then, so if that's filed, that's in there too. And you can
Okay.
Well,
take
and I
that
know
to
some,
county.
Okay,
someone had stopped in not too long ago. And she said that she had talked to Chris Marlowe and he said to stop out by us and tell us that the county would help us with paying to get it cleaned up. And I said, well, that's not gonna help any.
no,
You clean it up and he turns around and does it right away again anyway.
so after the meeting, let's get together. We'll figure out, try to start a plan, because I understand. We've been dealing with this for a long time and we thought we prior administration thought they had this under control and just. So, is there any other public comment? Wonderful. I'll need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Everyone approved? Aye. Thanks, everyone, for showing up. Thank you for your patience tonight.
I know.